Everything is up. We are live. We've been live for 16 seconds. And like I said, I promised I was going to start doing these videos for you guys because I like to entertain with you guys a lot when it comes to this. We're here to debate. We're here to debate. As everybody knows here, if you've really been here from this channel since day one, I've always been an ECW fan, no matter what the circumstances are. I've always loved ECW. When this channel used to be an ECW review, then it kind of grew into a wrestling review channel to being busted by Smart Busters to being a wrestling reviewer to a sports reviewer, actually. And since then, I've never looked back on the past, but I think it's time for me to do a versus. And what I mean is we're going to do ECW's, the two best ECW pay-per-view, to many fans considered the best ECW pay-per-views ever in the company's history. Also, down the road, we will also do which annual show was the best. Like for instance, ECW's November to Remember, which November to Remember, or Anarchy Rules 99 versus Anarchy Rules 2000, or November to Remember 97, 98, 99, 2000. Which one was the best? And my job here is to debate these two pay-per-views that I have in my disposal on which one's the best. Do we have ECW's, the first ECW pay-per-view, ECW Barely Legal 1997. And can you believe in 14 days from now, this pay-per-view would be 22 years old? Can you believe that? And hopefully I'm off on the anniversary of this show, so I can actually not only, semi doing a review of it now, but watch this with you guys and basically do my reaction on this, even though I know this pay-per-view is old, 22 years old, and its opponent, ECW's HeatWave 1998. So how am I going to do this for versus, as we have Gamey and JT with us? What's up? How we're going to do this, we will do is this. We're going to, for this pay-per-view, we're going to do the following. We're going to do matches of the night versus match of the night. My opinion, which one was the best match of the night on the card versus the best match on the other card. Title matches. It wouldn't be fair for HeatWave 98 because there's only 2 title matches on this show, while ECW's Barely Legal had 3. But we're going to do, for Barely Legal, we're going to do for the ECW Barely Legal 97, the world title for that match would be, we won't add it here for this versus, but we'll talk about it. We'll talk about for ECW's Barely Legal, they had the tag team titles were on the line and the ECW television titles on the line. While HeatWave 98 will do the ECW tag team title match and the FTW title. That will be considered as a television title as far as I'm concerned. And which one will be, the absolute best. Also, we're also going to do main event versus main event. And I was going to do pre-show versus pre-show, but it wouldn't be fair for HeatWave 98 because in this pay-per-view that I have, there's no pre-show at all, even though there is a pre-show on Daily Motion, but it's all over the place, and I cannot really find a suitable good copy of it. So, but this one here does. This one has a pre-show, and I gotta say, the pre-show on here was pretty good. It got me hyped for this whole show when I first watched it. So, with that being said, which ECW pay-per-view is the absolute best? Is it Barely Legal or is it HeatWave 98? So let's start off with the first match on the card versus the first match on the card. The first match here on the card for Barely Legal is the Dudley Boys defending ECW tag team titles against the Eliminators. It's kind of hilarious for this match because the Dudleys, they are the champions, but they get squashed in this match. Like, I'm not even joking. They get squashed in this match. I mean, they put up some type of offense, but it was more like high-flying kicks and flips from the Eliminators, and it pumped the crowd up. Like, it even pumped me up, but the way how the Eliminators won, it just so, shocks to me that the Dudley Boys, are the team that's getting, squashed in this match. You have Bubba Ray and Devon with their estranged brother, Big Dick Dudley, and Joel Gertner, and also Sign Guy Dudley. But it's just so funny to me how this show, the Dudleys get squashed in this match. But it was still a good match. It was just, and it hyped up the crowd what it was supposed to do. It did its job, but the Dudleys getting squashed, and they're the champions. And on the pre-show here, they hyped it up. They had a music video from House of Pain, Fed Up, and it even hyped me. But when I watched the match, and you see the Dudleys getting squashed, and they're the tag team champions, that's kind of okay. But it was entertaining nonetheless. And then the other pay-per-view, ECW Heatwave 98, it starts off with a Summer Series finale between Just Incredible and Jerry Lynn. And I got to say, this match was absolutely incredible. No pun intended to Just Incredible, but Just Incredible and Jerry Lynn hyped. This show was the first match on the show. It was great, like real great. I mean, spots here, spot there. The finish was very great. Jerry Lynn was going to go for, I think, for a Hurricane Rana. I think this was his finisher before the Cradle Pile Driver, but instead, Just Incredible low blows him and does a Tombstone Pile Driver onto the second rope. And 1, 2, 3, Jerry Lynn gets, not Jerry Lynn, but Just Incredible gets the pinfall here. Really great match. I think the match was like maybe 14, 15 minutes long, and it was a really great match. It was fast-paced. It got the crowd hyped, and also for Just Incredible and Jerry Lynn to perform a Tombstone Pile Driver on the top rope was scary, but they managed to pull it off, and it was a great spot to end the match and to end their feud for now. And it was really, really good. So, who wins for best opener of the night? Point goes to Heatwave 98. I mean, Justin, don't get me wrong. I love the Dudley Boys, and I love the Eliminators of Perry Saturn and John Cronus. But when you basically, have a tag team that's getting squashed here, I mean squashed, and they're the champions, it's really, really, you don't know if you could compare it, but they're both great openers. But Heatwave 98 takes the first point in for the first match because, well, number one, Jerry Lynn Incredible put in their all. And as for the Dudley Boys and the Eliminators, great match to start off the pay-per-view, but it was a squash. The Dudleys get squashed, and they're the champions. That's what's so hilarious to me. Very, very hilarious to me. But, both matches were good. But point goes to Heatwave 98, Just Incredible and Jerry Lynn. What is up, Kobe Sports and Gaming? What is up? Also, now we're going to, since we got the first opening match, why not let's do, I also said, matter of fact, I did say we were going to do title match versus title match and match of the night versus match of the night. So let's do this one right here. Matches of the night versus match of the night. EW's Barely Legal's match of the night, and it doesn't even come from their own talent. They actually made a deal with another promotion called Michinoku Pro, and they had a six-man tag team match on this show. And while I look up my notes here that I had on my web here, I will gladly tell you the participants because I am going through these names and I don't want to butcher the names for you guys. I don't want to do that. So let's get down to ECW Barely Legal, to me, match of the night that really stole, like, they stole the show. And that was the six-man tag team for Michinoku Pro. It was the Great Susuke, Gran Hamada, and Masato Yokoshima versus the Blue World Order Japan of Taka Michinoku, Terry Boy, and Dick Togo. This match lasted for 16 minutes and 55 seconds, but it was an entertaining 16 minutes and 55 seconds. Michinoku Pro, you know, I'm not a huge, I wasn't too familiar with that organization, but they stole the show. Paul Heyman, I gotta give Paul Heyman credit for getting those six Japanese wrestlers into an ECW arena and putting on the match that they did. Really great six-man tag team match. There was a spot where the BWO do like I don't know. I don't know if it was the Great Sasuke that took the spot or was it Gran Hamada, but they like yeah, two wrestlers. I think it was Terry Boy and Michinoku, like standing on the thighs of Gran Hamada, and then you had Terry Boy, I think, or Dick Togo. I don't really remember, but standing on the back, posing on Gran Hamada's back, that spot there had me. That was a really great spot. The ending was really, really great. This six-man tag was really, really good. It was entertaining. It was six-man tags are always fast-paced, and this was a fast-paced match. Really great match. Really great match. Really stole the show of ECW's Barely Legal 97, if you ask me. And this match kicked ass. If you haven't seen it, it's on Daily Motion. It's on Daily Motion. Michinoku Pro six-man tag. I recommend it. It is a hell of a six-man tag team match. Really stole the show in this whole entire pay-per-view. I'm not saying that this pay-per-view is bad. Hell no, it's not bad. It's these pay-per-views are both the best from ECW, and that's why we're here to debate them today on which one is superior. But this one here, six-man tag team match, I recommend it. Watch it. Great freaking match. Now for the opponent, HeatWave 98. Match of the night, it was really, really hard. I was going to give it to Credible and Lynn, but I'm going to give it to Masato Tanaka and Mike Awesome here on this show. Match of the night. Masato Tanaka and Mike Awesome. Woo-wee! Guys, if you have not seen a Mike Awesome versus Masato Tanaka match, I recommend you watch this from HeatWave 98, Anarchy Rules 1999, November to Remember 1999, or going on the WWE Network and finding Masato Tanaka matches and Mike Awesome matches, because they stole the show. Their rivalry was probably one of my favorites in ECW, in the old school ECW. I remember they traded the ECW World Heavyweight title. I think Masato Tanaka only held the belt for, I think, maybe 2 weeks before he losing it to Mike Awesome. Match was real great. Really, really great. The finish, you had Masato Tanaka picking up Mike Awesome and just Awesome bomb him outside the ring, and Mike Awesome's head hits the concrete floor. And you think the match is over. No, Mike Awesome kicks out. And I think one roaring elbow from Masato Tanaka, and it knocks out Mike Awesome. 1, 2, 3. The crowd was into it. They were hyped. They were ecstatic. Masato Tanaka picks up the win. Really great match here. And I easily have to say Masato Tanaka and Mike Awesome was match of the night for this pay-per-view, in my opinion. But for who wins for best match of the night, this would have to go to, if I had a sound effect, I would say drum roll. So let me make my own. Drum roll goes to, and the winner for match of the night for the show goes to Barely Legal. I mean, the Michinoku Pro 6-man tag team match was phenomenal. It was great. It was fast paced. It was a great 6-man tag team match. I recommend it. It's on Daily Motion. And also, nothing against Mike Awesome and Masato Tanaka. Nothing against them. Great freaking match. But this Michinoku Pro killed it for me. It really killed it. As much as I love Mike Awesome and Masato Tanaka's rivalry, this one blows this one here out the water when it came to match of the night. What is up, Tyler Hooder? We are here discussing which ECW pay-per-view was the best. According to ECW fans, they say these two are the best. And also hit that like button, guys, because we still got more to come. If you missed, we did the first match on the card versus the first match on the card. The first match for ECW's Barely Legal was the Dudley Boys versus the Eliminators. And for HeatWave 98, it was Just Incredible and Jerry Lynn. HeatWave 98, get the deuce on that. And then we just did match of the night versus match of the night. Michinoku Pro from Barely Legal 97 won this one. So we're all even up at 101. So we did match of the night. Now we got to do tag. We're going to do the titles. And as you can tell, if you haven't been here earlier when I talked about the Dudleys versus the Eliminators, because that was for the ECW tag team titles, obviously HeatWave 98 is getting a point because Sabu and Van Dam defend their ECW tag team titles against Hayabusa and Jinsei Shinzeki. If you don't know who Jinsei Shinzeki is, the guy had like all these tattoos all covered in his body. And if you don't remember him from the WWF, he had like that severed head of Bret the Hitman Hart, which was very, very frightening, but it was also cool at the same time to me. So with that being said, yeah, HeatWave 98 is going to get a point for ECW's tag team title match. But if you want to know why, look at Dudley Boys and Eliminators, and then look at Rob Van Dam and Sabu versus Hayabusa and Jinsei Shinzeki, and then you'll know why HeatWave 98 is getting a point when it comes to the tag team title match. I mean, there's nothing really here to say. It's actually on WWE on YouTube. It's on their YouTube page. That lets you know. That this match was golden. It was a really great tag team match. Now, I'm not saying that their tag team title match was bad. It's just that when the Dudley Boys, it's just so funny how the Dudley Boys have come since from their career, and for them to get squashed and them being the champions and losing to the Eliminators the way they did, it's just still eye-opening to me. But yeah, point goes to this match here, the ECW tag team title match for HeatWave 98. So 1-1 apiece there. Well, HeatWave 98 2, Barely Legal 1. So now we'll get to another title match. The ECW television title, Shane Douglas with the head cheerleader Francine defending the title against Pitbull number 2. Now the story here with this was Shane Douglas broke the neck of Gary Wolf from the Pitbull number 1. And apparently how they did this was for Pitbull number 2. Pitbull 2 wanted revenge, but also Shane Douglas has been, being harassed by this masked man who was ravishing Rick Rude. And apparently if Shane Douglas could beat Pitbull number 2, the masked man would reveal himself. The winner was very, very decided. Shane Douglas was winning. He was not losing that title match. He's not losing that television title. He wasn't going to lose it to Pitbull number 2. And the story just, to me, it was a good story, but how does the match hold up? The match wasn't really that interesting. I mean, it was kind of boring at some points too. I mean, it was long. It was 20 minutes long, and it was so like it wasn't really that much of a good match. It was 20 minutes long, way too long. And the ending, the winner was really decided here. WWE should do AJ Styles, Seth Rollins for the WWE title. We'll talk about that here in a minute. This is all about ECW. It's not all about WrestleMania, and that will be for next week. But yeah, Shane Douglas and Pitbull number 2. It was, I think, probably the weakest match here on Barely Legal 97 to me. Really, really weak. Not really a good match. Not really to talk about that. The best part of the match was the ending. You had at the end of the match, you had the Masked Man come out, but it wasn't Rick Rude. It was Primetime Brian Lee, and then one of Shane Douglas' Riot squad, because he had a Riot squad coming out to him on ringside. But also you had one of his Riot members was Rick Rude, and that was kind of cool. That I did like. And Shane Douglas retains, and the match was not really that good, but that ending was actually the best part of the match. Now, even though there's no television title here, because Van Dam was the television champion, I'm going to put the FTW title match on as a secondary title here. You had Shane Douglas versus Bam Bam Bigelow in a street fight. I think they promoted it as a Asbury Park street fight or a Dayton street fight. Or no, actually, no, I take that back. It was a Falls Count Anywhere match. Falls Count Anywhere all through the building. Taz defending the FTW F the World television title or TV title or whatever you want to call it, FTW title against Bam Bam Bigelow. This match was good. Of course, it was Falls Count Anywhere, so they were fighting all through the building. Really great match, but it also had a very controversial ending. You had Taz and Bam Bam. They were fighting from the ramp. Taz DDTs Bam Bam through the ramp, and you have Joey Styles and Shane Douglas on commentary saying they're dead, they're dead. And then you have Bam Bam coming out and Bam Bam just walking, but then Taz getting up like from a monster from the smoke, jumps on Bam Bam's back, puts him in the Taz mission, and it looks like that Bam Bam, to me, Bam Bam was reaching for the ropes, but instead John Finnegan sees Bam Bam tapping, but Bam Bam wasn't really tapping. He was just reaching for the ropes. And you can tell because he was kind of arguing with Bam Bam. So I don't know if that was the potentially supposed to be the finish to carry on this rivalry, but Taz wins by tap out. And the match was really good. And I'm not really going to shit on it, but this HeatWave 98 gets a point. So that's 3-1. Taz and Bam Bam it was entertaining. It was entertaining for what it was. It was a great match. The story was great. It was great. Not saying that the story between Shane Douglas and Pitbull number 2 wasn't great. It's just that the match really suffered. It was way too long, over dramatic as hell. The best part was the ending. The winner was obviously going to be the champion. And yeah, Shane Douglas and Pitbull number 2, and it also was the weakest match on the card. But as for here, there was no weak at all. So Bam Bam and Taz gets a point. That's a point for ECW's HeatWave 98, and now we are up 3-1. So now we're gonna get to. I'm gonna get to main event status here because HeatWave, it was 2 main events. I'm gonna put that all in one. So we're gonna put that all in one against ECW's HeatWave 98 main event. The main event here, it was a triple threat match, a 3-way elimination dance as Terry Funk, the Sandman, Stevie Richards, and a 3-way dance. And whoever wins gets to face Raven for the ECW World Heavyweight title. You have Terry Funk, the Sandman, Stevie Richards. Terry Funk wins, and it's Terry Funk versus Raven. As for the 3-way dance between Funk, Sandman, and Richards, very entertaining. Loved every spot in the match. Terry Funk, for I think he was like 50, 52 years old at the time, doing a moonsault off I think it was off a ladder, was really, really good. To catch the Sandman was good. Also, how they double team Stevie Richards was cool. And all three of these men had something in common. They all hated Raven. Sandman hates Raven because he stole his wife and child. So that made sense. Stevie Richards hates Raven because for 2 years he was idolizing Raven. He was Raven's stooge, his lackey. And um when and he also turned on Raven. That was also why Stevie Richards hated him. Terry Funk hated Raven because, well, apparently this all on YouTube, where Raven and Funk fight backstage, and you have Terry Funk beating the crap out of Raven backstage because he thinks he's full of crap. So all three men wanted to beat the crap out of Raven in the worst way possible. Terry Funk was not originally supposed to be in this match. It was supposed to be Tommy Dreamer, but Tommy Dreamer gave up his #1 contendership for Terry Funk to be in this match. So kudos to Tommy Dreamer for doing that. And also Tommy Dreamer gets on commentary on here, and his commentary was okay. It was okay. But for the match, it was great. The ending was great. Terry Funk. And then you had Raven come out there beating the crap out of Terry Funk. Terry Funk is like all busted open from the eye. He was a bloody mess. And then you had Raven's Nest, I think his little faction coming out there to beat the living crap out of Terry Funk. And then they were going to set up the tables right by the announcer's table where where Tommy Dreamer and Joey Styles were. And Raven grabs the mic and said this to Tommy: "I'm going to end the dream. I'm going to end his comeback. I'm going to end his life, and it's going to be right at your feet." Tommy Dreamer gets off of commentary and is about to come down, but until Big Dick Dudley comes out and was about to chokeslam Tommy through those tables, but no, Tommy reverses and chokeslams Big Dick Dudley through all three of the tables, which is a very cringy spot, but at the same time, it was ECW. Tommy Dreamer comes through the ring, beats down Raven's his stooges, and also DDT's Raven. Terry Funk gets for the pin. No, Raven kicks out. I think Terry Funk goes for his schoolboy. 1, 2, 3. Terry Funk wins, and that crowd freaking popped hard when Terry Funk beat Raven for the ECW championship. That crowd popped, and even I popped because I was happy for Terry Funk. And also, they went with this finish on the fly because it was supposed to be a 3-hour show. They only had 5 minutes to work here, and it really showed. But it was an entertaining 5 minutes. The three-way dance was entertaining. The match between Raven and Terry Funk was entertaining. It was great for what it was. It was a good main event and a great way to end ECW's first pay-per-view. And I liked it. I absolutely loved it. Great one. Now, can ECWs get a three-peat and now win 3 in a row for it? Tommy Dreamer, Spike Dudley, and the Sandman takes on the Dudley Boys in the Dudleyville Street Fight. The story here is, well, Tommy Dreamer's wife in real life, Beulah McGillicuddy, gets 3D'd, and Tommy Dreamer gets his heart broken because the Dudley Boys, they broke his wife's neck, Beulah McGillicuddy's neck. And then Spike Dudley wants revenge because he had enough of his abusive brothers. The Sandman wants revenge on the Dudley Boys because they almost broke his neck. So it's a Dudleyville street fight. You have Joey Styles just basically, oh, dude, Joey Styles. I love Joey. And he basically says that the Dudley Boys were scumbags. They should have been fired for what they did to Beulah, but Paul Heyman doesn't do it. And then when the Dudleys come out, they tell Joey to talk about the Dudley Boys, and he says straight up, he doesn't want to talk. Dudleys make him sick. He'll start talking when the opponents come out. Joe Gertner cuts his typical Joe Gertner poetry, and it's Joe Gertner. The match was really great main event. The finish sees Bubba Ray Dudley about to splash Tommy Dreamer through a ladder, but he misses. Tommy Dreamer gets the Dreamer DDT in 1, 2, 3. Tommy Dreamer picks up the win. He gets revenge for Beulah. But then here comes Jack Victory, beating the hell out of Tommy Dreamer with a guitar, and then the Dudleys get the upper hand. And here comes New Jack, because also on this pay-per-view, it was supposed to be New Jack versus Jack Victory in a weapons match, but it didn't happen because the Dudley boys beat the hell out of New Jack in the parking lot. But with that being said, New Jack gets his revenge over the Dudley boys and Jack Victory. Also, there's a spot here in this match where Bubba Ray, Devon, and Big Dick Dudley are all tied to the Tree of Woe. You have Sign Guy who has a broken leg, and Tommy does the figure 4 leg lock, and out of nowhere, here comes Judge Jeff Jones. He has like a sex doll, and it has like Beulah's face on it, and he basically just boom, just freaking pile drives. He pile drives fucking the freaking blow up doll, and then mocks Tommy like ECW. Tommy grabs Judge Jeff Jones and pile drives him. Then here comes Joel Gardner. He gets caught by Tommy, and then he gets placed to the Tree of Woe as well. And then you have Tommy Dreamer, Spike Dudley, the Sandman, and referee John, I think it was John Molyneux. They all crunched up together, and they do 4-way Trees of Woe onto the Dudleys and Joel Gardner. The fans popped, I popped, great spot, loved it. And also, I actually enjoyed this 6-man tag. It was actually good for what it was. It was a great way to end the show. But which main event really wins here? As much as I love HeatWave 98's ending, and as much as I love it, and I would say it was a great one, I gotta go with Barely Legal 97's main event, because you got to think about it. Terry Funk, Sandman, and Stevie Richards was a great 3-way dance, and then the match after that, Raven versus Terry Funk, and Terry Funk winning the ECW championship at the age of 52. I think he's the oldest ECW World Heavyweight Champion of all time. Really great way to end the show. Great way to end the match. And ECW's Barely Legal, it was great. It was a great match. Really great freaking match. A hell of a contest. And the way to end the show. So point goes to Barely Legal, 3-2. Now we're gonna get to another thing here on this show. While I look at the live comments saying review ECW Hardcore Heaven 2000. Actually, that will be next. That will be the next versus I do. ECW's Hardcore Heaven 97, Hardcore Heaven 99, and Hardcore Heaven 2000. Which Hardcore Heaven was the best of them all? And speaking of Hardcore Heaven 2000, I recently watched that pay-per-view because I have the actual DVD, and I actually like that pay-per-view. But we'll talk about that next time, Tyler Hooder. But also, what we're gonna do? What was I gonna talk about? Main event. Oh, we did main event. We did the title matches. We did match card. I think it was 3-2. Wait, actually, no, wait. Let me think. Wait, we did first match, and that was HeatWave 1, so that was 1 point for that. We had the match of the night, and that was Barely Legal, so it was 1-1 even. We had we had tag team title match, and that was HeatWave, so that was 2. Actually, no, it's 3-2. I'm sorry, it's 3-2. The 5 segments. So with that being said, let's get down to which pay-per-view of them all. Of them all was the best. And it seems like we're at 3-2. So we did 5. So the winner of this goes to ECW's HeatWave 98. Don't get me wrong. This show is going to be 22 years old in 14 days. But I'm sorry. This is a great, great show. But it's watered down with a lot of things. Shane Douglas and Pitbull number 2 was long and it was over dramatic. Probably the worst match on this card, but it had a great ending, a great payoff at the end. And also, let's talk about another thing, a spoil thing here. Sabu versus Taz was supposed to be called the match of the century. Both men did not touch each other for a year. But I have mixed feelings for Sabu versus Taz. I had really mixed feelings about it. It was okay for what it was, but it didn't really, to me, lived up to the hype. The best part of the match was the ending where Van Dam comes out and Sabu and Van Dam basically turn heel and basically beat the hell out of Taz, and Fozzy turns his back on Taz and he joins Sabu and Van Dam. That was the best part of it. But Sabu and Taz was not really a match that was not what it was hyped up to be. It was okay. The match after they have next at WrestlePalooza 97, was way better than this one. But overall, these both are really great shows. I recommend you buy both of them. They're on High Spots, which is they're $15 a piece, and they're worth it. They're really, really worth it. But if you were to tell me which one was the best, this one here is the best. Like by far, this was the best. To me, the greatest ECW pay-per-view that they ever produced. Think about to me, just incredible. Jerry Lynn, great match. Lance Storm versus Chris Candido was a great match. Masato Tanaka versus Mike Awesome, great match. The ECW tag team titles, great match. Bam Bam Bigelow versus Taz, great match. And the 6-man tag team main event was a great match. Not a slowdown in this pay-per-view. Barely Legal 97, still a great show. It was their first pay-per-view. Still a great show. The Dudley Boys and the Eliminators was great for what it was, even though it's still weird seeing the Dudleys getting squashed in this match, in my opinion. It was still weird. Lance Storm and Van Dam, and I'm sorry I didn't talk about that match. Van Dam and Storm was good. Really great match. Really, really good. I liked it. Shane Douglas and Pitbull number 2, to me, weakest match of the card. Michinoku Pro 6-man tag was the match of the night, in my opinion. Really great match. It's on YouTube. Not on YouTube. It's on Dailymotion. Watch it. I promise you won't be disappointed. Sabu and Taz was great for what it was, but it did not really live to the hype that they did on the pre-show here. Terry Funk and Sandman Richards was great. The main event with Raven versus Terry Funk, great. Terry Funk winning the ECW World Heavyweight title, great. Great show. I'm not going to shit on it. It was a great match, great show, great first ECW pay-per-view, but it cannot hold a candle. This is the second best. This is the first. Trust me. They are both on Dailymotion. I recommend you watch it. Watch both of them. And like I said, I will probably watch this on my computer and review it for you guys and watch this pay-per-view from start to finish. And let's do a let's watch. If you're down with that, hit the 1 in the chat because I would definitely do this for you guys. And as for Tyler Hoodie here, he said ECW's Hardcore Heaven 2000 to review that. I will review that as a personal video, but the next verses that ECW will do ECW's Hardcore Heaven 2000 versus 99 versus 97. So I want to thank you guys for watching my live review. Well, actually not live, but a live versus of live versus of the 2 best ECW pay-per-views. The winner, ECW's HeatWave 98. So until next time, guys, like I said, they're both on High Spot. They're pretty affordable. They're $15 a piece on highspot.com. I would recommend both these shows. And until next time, I am Mount Gooley. I will catch you all again next time for for next week. Next week is WrestleMania. I will do a live stream for NXT Takeover, WrestleMania, Monday Night Raw, and SmackDown Live. I got my schedule. I am here for SmackDown Live. So, and I will have the lovely Cherry Blossom for NXT and WrestleMania. And I will make sure that everything will be perfect for you guys. I can't wait. And also, picks and predictions will come Thursday night. Thursday in the afternoon, and I will be glad to share that with you guys. Until next time, God bless you all, and I will catch you all again next week for WrestleMania weekend.